Greetings, my dear viewers, the Pyramid on Air. Episode 19 was truly amazing. Today we saw a dynamic battle between the Titan Speakerman and a new race of SKIBIDI clowns. We were shown what abilities they have, and Dom Studio probably revealed to us a new character with an invisible pen. At the beginning of the episode, we are shown amazing mastery of the pen spinning technique on behalf of the POV cameraman. And then we throw the pen in the air and catch it. But take a closer look at the color of his suit and his gloves. This is clearly not an ordinary cameraman, but most likely a new character. And I think that this is PENCILMAN, since he masterfully wields a pen, which has the ability to make him invisible. But more on that later, and also in appearance, he does not look like any cameraman. What do you think about this? Could this POV cameraman be a PENCILMAN? Or are they just Special Agents cameraman? Write your opinion in the comments. In the next frame, we see the inscription Circus, which means that we are at the base of the SKIBIDI clowns. We see a toilet clown coming at us and decide to hide behind the barrels so that we cannot be seen. However, this toilet does not notice us and goes to its fellows. Most likely they are discussing a strategic plan of action, and the POV cameraman decides to overhear him and therefore decides to come closer. But this idiot accidentally steps on the candy under his feet, which makes a loud cracking sound. The SKIBIDI clowns hear this and one of them decides to check the barrels. But we manage to drip ink from the pen onto our hands and become invisible. When the toilet arrives, he finds no one and decides to go back. However, in the next shot, the toilet flies out of the air and explodes, which means that Titan Speakerman has arrived at the SKIBIDI clown base. The flying clown starts laughing and fires 3 missiles from his cannon at once, but Titan Speakerman shields himself from them with his hands, and it's as if they didn't even cause him any damage. Titan Speakerman then decides to counterattack and fires a beam from his cannon, but the flying clown easily dodges and hits Titan Speakerman's arm with his bat. I think he wanted to knock the weapon out of his hands, but he didn't succeed. Next, we see the clown spider come to the aid of the flying SKIBIDI clown, who jumps on Titan Speakerman and ends up on top of him. However, I was alarmed by the fact that this friend doesn't even have a jetpack to fly. Perhaps he uses his metal legs to compress himself and fly high into the air like a spring mechanism. After all, if we slow down this frame, we will be able to notice how he bends his claws from a folded state to an extended one. This means that he can jump very high and climb to heights, which may give him some kind of distinct advantage over his opponent. Meanwhile, he is already on the head of the Titan Speakerman, which bothers him. So he decides to remove the clown. To do this, he uses his chains, which catch the enemy, just like Titan Drillman did in episode 11. Speakerman successfully knocked the 2 clowns to the ground and began to deal with the other clowns. However, the clowns cannot accept defeat, so they attack him again. But Speakerman feels that one of the toilets smells bad and he should wash himself. Then he dips it in water, hoping that it will not emit an unpleasant odor. However, pay attention to the color of the water. It is green. But what is this green goo? I have 2 theories about this. This is an abandoned lake, since it is on abandoned lakes that water blooms can occur. And the second theory is that it is acid, since we know that SKIBIDI toilets use acid in their barrels to attack the Alliance. But I am more inclined to the version that this is a normal bloom of water in the lake. Meanwhile, Speakerman is hungry and wants to cook scrambled eggs from this toilet, but he overcooked it a little. Because of this, the scrambled egg turned out to be burnt and can now be thrown away. Also, by its green explosion, we understand that the scrambled eggs really turned out bad. However, this green smoke looks like smoke from some kind of poison, and we can assume that it may also have some effect on the health of the Titan. But we can also assume that such toilets are simply assembled from unusual materials. But suddenly, someone shot a huge laser beam at the Titan, and it turned out that it was a toilet jester who was sitting on the roof of one of the amusement park buildings. He appeared previously in episode 18, but he was hung on a chain. Look at his core. Oh, it's exactly the same as the G-Man from the original SKIBIDI toilet. And that's where that laser comes out of. This is the only powerful weapon this SKIBIDI clown has. He starts laughing loudly at Titan Speakerman and making funny faces at him. Then Titan Speakerman approaches this clown and begins to attack him. I wonder what this clown was hoping for. After all, he doesn't even resist his blows. He is clearly a masochist because he seems to enjoy these blows. Bro, you need to go to the doctor. While Speakerman is beating him up, we notice writing on his cannon. And I found the capabilities of this gun on the internet, and now you see it in the screenshot. Do you really think this toy gun can do anything? Okay, bro, I was joking, and this is actually a real weapon. This grenade launcher was taken from the Halo game and can fire 2 missiles at once. I think this is a great weapon in Titan Speakerman's arsenal. He also has a new axe for close combat, which was not in episode 17. Meanwhile, Speakerman unleashes powerful punches and uses sound waves to stun this crazy clown. He delivers the final blow, and the clown falls to the ground. This was observed by another toilet clown who began to run away from Speakerman. Just look at his face filled with fear and despair. He did not want to die, but the Titan cameraman decided his fate for him, and therefore destroyed this pathetic toilet. He flew to his friend from episode 18 as soon as he finished dealing with that crazy clown. By the way, did you notice that his hammer was repaired? After all, we remember that Titan cameraman broke his hammer in episode 10 in a fight with Titan drillman. And I'm glad that the hammer is now back in battle, and finally these two Titans have come together. Titan Speakerman gives a thumbs up, but is suddenly hit by a clockwork weapon that freezes him in time for a few seconds. However, he was able to withstand this weapon and he is able to move again. But why wasn't he frozen in time? He has a watch Clockman, which actually saved him from a timed weapon. This watch is barely noticeable, but he has it. Also note the color of the timer, which emits white candles, unlike the Titan Clockman's cannon, which glows yellow. Most likely this is a cheap copy of a cannon, or this is how the watch Clockman works. Titan Speakerman turns and we see SKIBIDI scientist with his new friend Pennywise. We see the same cannon that was probably borrowed from the Titan Clockman. And I also assume that the SKIBIDI scientist will soon have a time shuriken, since in episode 4, we could see how Astro Toilet took the shuriken with him, most likely to study it and develop new time shurikens for SKIBIDI toilets. We can also spot barrels of acid, which can give SKIBIDI scientist an advantage. On Pennywise, we see his toy weapons, the abilities of which have not yet been revealed to us, but I am sure that he is very strong. Look at Pennywise's eyes. They are dark and filled with horror. Perhaps, as I said earlier, he will put the victim into deep hypnosis and stupor, and the victim's consciousness will fall into the dimension of deadlights. I discussed this theory and many other theories about Pennywise's power in this video. You can also see this wonderful flower on his toilet, and I think that this may be a reference to the animated series Kikoriki, because this flower is often used there. Is this really a reference, or am I just crazy? And it's important to note that Pennywise is the same height as SKIBIDI Scientist, and SKIBIDI Scientist is the same height as the Titans. This won't be an easy fight, Dom Studio tells us. Meanwhile, SKIBIDI Scientist begins to smile maliciously, letting us know that he is confident in his victory. But Titan Cameraman also showed that he was ready to fight right now, and he waved his hand at them to start attacking them. Also, the green color begins to flash for some time. This is clearly visible on the hand of the Titan Speakerman, where something green is blinking from underground. I don't understand what this could be. Perhaps you have some guesses. Write them in the comments. I think that the second part will be very interesting because we will see the battle of the Titans against the SKIBIDI Scientist, and it will be a very exciting fight. And since Titan TV Man has already been shown in episode 18 bloopers, we cannot rule out the fact that Titan TV Man can also join this battle. But based on the fact that these are the two strongest Titans who have improved their armor and weapons, the abilities of which were not fully revealed to us, so we can safely say that they will defeat the toilets, and Titan TV Man can rest for now. By the way, we haven't seen G-Man in this series for a long time. Dom Studio recently answered questions from subscribers on Discord, where they said that
where's G-Man in the SKIBIDI Toilet multiverse? I mean, few people barely remember that G-Man existed in the multiverse. We didn't saw him ever since from episode 4, and well, there's of course a reason. I mean, you guys know G-Man for always running away in the original series, in my series, and even in Verland's series, you know? He's always the type of guy who runs away when... Yeah, so this time, maybe G-Man has started to think in the multiverse series that what if I just stay for a long time getting enough upgrades so that I can come back with full strength.
And he has probably been preparing for a long time to take revenge on the Alliance, and he may also appear in the second part of the 19th episode. What do you think about it? Write your theories about the next part of episode 19 in the comments. May the force of the pyramid be with you. Good luck!